Yeah, you know why? Because you're cutting $150 billion for rural hospitals. You're putting $50 billion back. That's not an infusion. That's a loss of $100 billion. All right, next question. President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern-day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use.
What just happened in Congress is explosive. A heated back-and-forth exposed deep divisions over healthcare, COVID vaccines, and even campaign financing. In today's video, I'll break it all down in 10 key points you need to know. Stick with me until the end, because the tension only gets hotter. And hey, before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more breakdowns like this.
I just want to pick up on Senator Warren's point. Are you telling us that the former head of CDC went to you, you asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said, no, I am not a trustworthy person?
She didn't say, no, I'm not a trustworthy person. She said, no. I'm giving a quote.
And
I asked her twice.
No, 1 second. And you're also repeating now that she is a liar, correct? What she wrote in the Wall Street Journal.
If she wrote that I fired her because she refused to sign on in advance for the ACIP committee, no, that's not accurate.
All right, so you're calling her a liar, and I look forward to her coming before the Help Committee, maybe this committee as well. All right, Mr. Secretary, I've got a bunch of questions. Appreciate brevity in answering it. So-called beautiful bill threw 15 million Americans off of health care, substantially raised premiums, and is going to have a terrible impact on nursing homes, community health centers, rural hospitals all over America. Very briefly, is that really making America healthy again?
It's going to have it's going to be the biggest infusion of federal dollars into rural health care in American history.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're cutting $150 billion for rural hospitals. You're putting $50 billion back. That's not an infusion. That's a loss of $100 billion. All right, next question. President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern-day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use. Secretary Kennedy, are President Trump and the medical community right, or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. Oh, I said that in terms of affairs reports a while ago. I said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump in the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine was perfectly matched to the virus that was circulating then. And I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this discussion, I'm hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman, is we've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors.
And I'm
the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you will agree with me on that. Okay, you were running for president, you got a billionaire behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone disagrees with you...
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
I'm saying,
I don't think so.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency, heated arguments every day with Jay Bhattacharya, with Marty McCary, with Dr. Oz.
You have given the names of a few people. I have given you the names of organizations representing hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists. I yield, Mr. President.
First, a senator pressed the secretary about past comments toward the former CDC head. The senator accused him of calling her untrustworthy and even a liar, citing a Wall Street Journal article. The secretary pushed back, but the tension was clear right from the start. Next, the debate shifted to healthcare. The senator attacked a bill that threw 15 million Americans off coverage, raised premiums, and threatened rural hospitals. But the secretary defended it, saying it was the largest federal investment in rural healthcare. The senator quickly shot back, pointing out that $150 billion was cut, with only $50 billion put back. In his words, that's not an infusion, that's a loss. Things got really interesting when President Trump's own words were brought up. Trump had praised COVID vaccines as one of the greatest medical miracles, saving tens of millions of lives. The senator demanded to know, does the secretary agree with Trump and the medical community, or not? The secretary denied calling the vaccines the deadliest ever, credited Trump's leadership, and admitted they saved quite a few lives. But he dodged the broader claim that they saved millions. Then came a sharp contrast. The senator pointed to overwhelming support for vaccines from groups like the AMA, American Academy of Pediatrics, and the Public Health Association. The secretary, however, leaned on a handful of dissenting doctors. His argument? There's a difference between established science and a scientific establishment that he says has been co-opted by Big Pharma. Finally, the gloves came off. The senator pressed hard. Did this mean hundreds of thousands of doctors were corrupt? He pointed to campaign money from pharmaceutical PACs received by both Republicans and Democrats. The secretary pushed back, accusing the industry of greed and corruption, but denying that every institution was compromised. The exchange spiraled into accusations about campaign financing, corruption, and whether dismissing major medical organizations undermines public trust. By the end, it was less about vaccines or healthcare policy, and more about trust. Trust in science, trust in medicine, and trust in government. This clash exposed not just political divides but the deep skepticism that fuels today's debates. What do you think? Should we trust the major medical organizations, or are they too close to Big Pharma? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit like, share this video, and subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns of the moments shaping our future.